Thank you, Alderman Vitale. We'll start with item 24 on tonight's agenda, Resolution 2022-0712. Resolution to approve water tower license agreement with Verizon Wireless for installation of wireless network equipment at 11515 West Rogers Street.
Move to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Any further discussion?
Mr. Chair.
Alderman Stefanski.
Everybody in the city get free Verizon service then by doing this?
That'd be nice, but
No, so there's existing equipment there. Their lease is expired. They want to upgrade their equipment with the modification right now. This is a form that would result in a $35,000 annual license fee, as well as a one-time $15,000 upfront payment to the city.
Nice.
It's adjusted annually at 3% going up. There's a 5-year initial term with 4 5-year terms after that that could be canceled at any point in time within the 5-year window, but it could be up to a 25-year period.
Okay.
we've been Verizon's been a customer of ours since 1996. So on the 116th tower. Special thanks to Kale, Michael Brafka, Karen Rittenhouse for the negotiation of this contract.
Yeah, well done.
Okay, any further discussion? It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? We're adjourned.
Now the License and Health Committee comes in session, so we'll begin with item 26. Excuse me. New Class B Tavern License Application at 6325 Mitchell LLC DBA 6325 Mitchell 6325 West National Avenue. Agent Marla Pointanker LLC 22200. She's here?
Hi.
Okay, how are you?
Good, thank you. How are you?
Good. So based on what I see, I mean, I don't think you have any back records or anything in that respect. You have a clean records,
Yes, sir.
right? So what are you going to do with your establishment?
Yeah, thank you. So, so I'm the owner of Bars and Recreation. We are a family of entertainment brands. Currently, all of our locations are in downtown Milwaukee. So you may have heard of them. Some of the locations are Axe Milwaukee, the axe throwing bar on the east side. North-South Club is a full-size deck shuffleboard and also axe throwing in Walker's Point. We also have 9 Below, which is build your own mini golf on the east side as well. It's actually underneath Beans and Barley. We have Splash Studio, which is a painting bar. And then we have Headspace Trivia, which is a virtual online live hosted trivia. And then finally, we're opening, in about 6 weeks, we're opening Amped, which is a karaoke bar. It's going to be in the Brewery District, so just 2 blocks from Fiserv Forum. That's going to be our newest facility. So that's our current family of brands. And at 6325 West National, we are looking to open another extension of that bars and recreation facility. So we're excited to expand into the West Allis community. We're looking to bring a similar concept that combines immersive, social, engaging environment with a bar tavern facility. And we are not fully revealing the concept because it is a brand new concept, never been done before in this type of way. But it is very similar to what you're seeing in our current bars and recreation facilities. So it is play, it is for groups. Our public concept will be groups of about 2 to 6 players. They'll be able to reserve online or with our sales team in blocks of 2 to 3 hours. They'll be able to park right with us in our parking lot and then come to their reservation, check in, order food and drinks, play with us for a couple hours, and then hopefully shop at the nearby facilities or dine at the restaurants nearby at the corner there. And the idea is to bring that entertainment destination to the downtown area.
thank you for your information. So,
Chair. Oh, I'm sorry.
we welcome you, really, in West Dallas. Any question from the
Mr. Chair.
members?
When will we know what this activity is?
Yes, sir.
I mean, it could be dogfighting for all we know. And that would certainly change my mind.
Absolutely. I understand. It's not dogfighting, but I do understand your concern. Well, so currently where we're at with the redevelopment, we have replaced the roof and we are working with LF Green to do the environmental site investigation and what does she call it specifically? I want to say the right word here. Site clearance. So that means removing, there are some underground storage tanks in that building that need to be removed. Once that is all clear, then we will know for sure that that site is going to be available for us to redevelop into this specific concept. And at that point, then we'll be able to move forward with the marketing for the concept.
Please, Kale. Oh, I'm not Chair, I'm sorry.
Go ahead.
Sure, so this is a little bit unique, we have an applicant coming to us that doesn't have necessarily the ability to disclose exactly what's happening. However, it is certainly very valuable and important for the applicant to secure a license now before making any further investments. This is sort of in conjunction with what we were talking about before, in that who goes first. So because the license itself is valuable and encourages further development, one suggestion could be that the committee could approve the license tonight, but put a condition upon it that essentially the applicant has to come back to the committee to get the condition lifted, that they can be allowed to operate under that license. But at least they have license in hand, and assuming the proposal is not dogfighting, the assumption would be that there would be no reason to not continue with that license. There are rules talking about not operating under a license for 30 days. That license becomes revocable, but is not automatically revoked. So you could issue the license, and if the project languishes for 2 years, you could revoke the license at that point for non-operation. But it gives the developer a chance to have the license in hand and put that investment into business with that confidence.
Mr. Chair,
Go ahead.
Yes, Alderman Joe.
but what if it is dogfighting?
At that point in time, you would not lift the condition on the license, and they would not be able to operate.
Mr. Chair,
Yes, Alderman Stefanski.
would we be able to go into closed session and find out what it is?
We haven't published for closed session as of tonight, so not tonight, no.
Okay.
I'd have to look back at the statutes to see if a closed session topic would apply to this. I can't think of one now.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, Alderman Christian.
I have to say, I'm personally very excited about this business coming to West Dallas, and the reveal probably will be grand. So, with that being said, I am in full support of the issuance of this.
Thank you.
I just want to thank you for coming and giving your presentation. I think we can trust in knowing that Bars and Recreation has such successful businesses elsewhere that we actually are pretty fortunate that you're coming to West Dallas, and I'm sure that will be a welcome addition to 6 Points. So
I
thank
appreciate
you.
your support and
Any
your
further
confidence. Thank you.
questions from the committee members?
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
clarification, basically then, if we granted her the license this evening, and then when we find out basically what this bar is going to do and we don't approve it, we can take away that license? Is that how I understand it?
So the condition you place upon the license is that the person cannot sell any alcohol. So what you would end up doing then is they could still continue to operate, they just couldn't sell alcohol. It wouldn't shut the business down. And you wouldn't necessarily have a basis to revoke the license. It would just be at that point worthless.
I see. Okay.
So I have to also just bring it up. The idea is that part of this process, you do get to evaluate the quality of the applicant. You don't have to ignore that fact. If there's a new person who has not had any prior operating experience, at that point I would suggest placing a condition like this on the licensee. In this case, given the experience of the particular applicant, which you can consider, there's nothing requiring that you put a condition on the license. You could just issue without a condition. So I want to make sure it's clear that you don't need to assume the worst unless you think that that's a realistic possibility.
I am happy to share a little bit more about myself and my background if anybody has questions about that, or my team as well, if that would be helpful.
Is what you plan affect the health and safety of any of your customers?
No, ma'am. So we have been operating axe throwing facilities, especially that's probably the one that has over the years has had the most concern for safety.
Okay.
So we opened Axe Milwaukee in 2018. So we've been operating that facility for 4 years with a full Class B tavern license. We have never had any incidents. We opened North South Club in 2019, so just prior to COVID. We've also never had any incidents there. We did have a lot of people, and we still have a lot of people who say, I can't believe you combine axe throwing and alcohol. How do you possibly operate that safely? But I can tell you that we have an incredible amount of training that we require from our employees. All of our employees in our operations team are required to complete a responsible server training course in order to be a bartender with us. All of our employees have multiple days of training with our director of experiences as well as our food and beverage manager. They are required to complete pour tests. They are required to wear wristbands if they are under 21 and working behind the bar, not allowed to be serving. Customers are required to check in, get a hand stamp, get a wristband, sign a waiver. We have multiple fail-safes, not just because it's my reputation and my company on the line in terms of axe throwing and alcohol, but frankly, because it's the safety of my team and my customers that I put on the line every single day when I operate these businesses. And so it is imperative that we are top of the line in terms of safety, professionalism, and the way that we operate. And so we take that very, very seriously, and we talk about it every day, and we seek to continuously improve our processes and procedures.
I appreciate that you have expanded a little bit on the explanation,
Absolutely.
the operation, even though you don't want to.
Yeah. No, absolutely. I mean, you absolutely deserve as much information as you need to make your decision.
Right.
I'll also just add as a footnote that I've been operating in this capacity as the owner of this business for over 10 years now. So we opened, Splash Studio was the first facility. We opened that in 2012. That was in downtown Milwaukee. That was our first location.
Mm-hmm.
So we've been doing this for more than 10 years. And I have, previously to that, I got my MBA from Madison, specializing in arts administration, nonprofit management. So I worked at Overture Center for the Arts in marketing and event planning before that. So that's sort of, and my husband actually also has an MBA from Madison, and he worked for Miller Coors and worked in supply chain management. So that was sort of the genesis for art and beer that created Splash Studio. But all of that has led us to this place of creating these facilities that encourage adults to play and have fun and have shared memories and social experiences. COVID wants us to stay apart, but we're trying to bring people together, and that's sort of the goal of this operation and this business in general.
Well, it's exciting.
Are you
It
done?
really is exciting concept. Previous to you coming, we had a business that came before us that wanted to do the same thing, but they obviously they changed their mind and moved on.
I see.
Yes.
Well, we're
However,
committed to this. We're in it for the long haul.
Is there going to be a time element to this business?
In terms of when we're
Or,
opening?
The project that you have suggested that you're going to use is after a certain time, will it, how can I explain it? Are there certain hours where you're going to have it?
Certain hours that will be open? Is that what you mean?
No, that you're going to have this take place.
I'm sorry, I'm not sure I totally understand the question.
Um,
Are you going to have the activity the whole time you're open?
Open and
Right,
closing,
yes,
right? That's your
yes.
question, right?
Or say after 12 o'clock, you wouldn't have this anymore.
I see.
That's-
So, yes, ma'am. So currently, all of our facilities close at midnight. None of our bars are open past midnight. Everything closes at midnight on the weekends and at 11 p.m. on weeknights.
Okay, all right. Thank you.
So, Bez, Marla, you have a great background, for what you said about all your business. So to me, you have a ground stone to come into West Allis, really. I do appreciate that. To me, giving someone a license for a person or an operator like you, I'm very thrilled about it, because what you said, what you guys have done, to me, that's a very helpful for me to move forward with the, of course, with the, like our city attorney addressed the fact of some guidelines we can apply on that, right? Until she gets complete with the building and everything else.
If you would like to, you can place a condition on the license, but nothing requires you to do so.
I would make a motion to approve without condition.
Yeah, okay. Any seconds?
Second.
So based on the motion, a second, all in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The aye have it. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. Nice presentation.
All right, now we move on to item 27. New Class B beer / Class C wine license application for Flower Grill and Flame LLC DBA Flower Grill and Flame 8121-8125 West National Avenue. Agent Daniel P. Nowak LLC 22203. Come right in. How are you?
Hi, good, how are you?
Good. So, what you're telling us, what you really want to do with your business?
Yeah, so we so last winter, so during the summer months for Flower Girl, we have the mobile wood-fired oven, so we're mobile during the summertime. So in the winter months, so starting mid-November, we're going to do our carry-out. We're going to operate similar to what we did last winter, just to kind of keep all of our team employed. So we did sign a lease on the adjoining space next door at 8125 West National. We did go through all the inspections in the process to get approved for occupancy to have seating for 15 people next door. So yeah, we thought it would be, what goes better with pizza? Then we have ice cream over there as well, but everyone wants a beer with a slice of pizza. So we figured just another way to get people to kind of hang out and kind of just drive that ticket price up in the wintertime, which is a little bit of a slower season for us. So.
Thank you for explaining us what you're doing. Any questions? From the committee
Mr. Chair?
members?
I want to thank you for bringing your business to West Allis. I'm seeing that you're having a really great success, and I'm happy to see that you're expanding as well.
Oh, thanks.
Now, as far as the liquor license would be concerned, would an extension of use need to be used as we do what am I thinking? Off premises. So like the railroad park is next door. I know you have events next door. We vacated that alley next door. So would this all be in-house? Would there be events out? Obviously you said it's going to be winter months, but
Sure.
It seems to be a lot of our businesses are operating outside as well. So
Yeah.
Are we looking at this license as just being in the premises currently? Correct? There's no added request to this?
That was the plan when I applied for it, because I know that's kind of a different thing once you're kind of like outside in a public space. So that was my understanding applying for it, was just the indoor, just for the 15 seats that we can have
Okay.
for that.
All right.
So, Mr. Chair, the current premises description is the inside of the building only. If there was ever an interest in expanding into the adjacent park, the applicant could make a request for a temporary extension to do so on specific dates.
Okay. All right. Thank you.
I move to approve.
Second.
All in favor of the motion?
Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
Go
ahead,
ahead,
Alderman.
quickly, as the alderman of the district there.
Yes.
I'd like to say I support this, obviously. And as far as the question about the premises extension, Yellow Railroad Park really has no neighbors.
Right. Oh, I don't have any issue with it. I think it would actually be a benefit because those events are very well attended.
I'd also like to say, I see Flower Girl and Flame out at multiple events around the community, and I think they represent the city very well, and I think it's all part of us, raising up our image, so.
Absolutely.
Sure. Yeah, something we'll keep in mind for next summer for sure. Like as the as the weather dictates, so we could talk about, we've been trying to do one event a month to kind of activate that park space. We've got a lot of good feedback from the neighbors and people who have families who like little bounce houses and things like that. And
Absolutely.
it's been well
Thank
received,
you,
so we'll keep that in
Michael.
mind.
So we have a motion,
We
second,
can
all in
second it.
favor?
Aye.
Opposed? The aye have it.
Thank you.
Thank you. Good luck
Thank
to
you.
you.
Thank you.
Now we have here item 28, new Class B tavern license application for Rupina Incorporation, DBA Villa del Rupinas, 7621 West Pelway Road, Agent Maria E. Rupina Karseski, LLC 22204. Hey, Maria, how are you?
Oh, good, how are you?
Yeah. I know last time you didn't make it, but you made it tonight, right?
I did.
Okay. So any questions from the committee members? Any questions?
Chair?
Yes.
Can you give us a snapshot of what's going on there?
Yes, I can. For years, as probably people knew, I wanted to do a venue, a hall, and it's ready. We are ready. It can hold 177 people. You know, we're thinking for, there's a lot of celebration of lives that we do, daily. They always ask, where can we come? Where can we go? I believe that the space would be used well. It's been vacant for a long time. We're going to fix it up. As you can see, we have a roof being put on. We just want to expand Rupina's a little bit. It's a dream I had for a long time.
When you're not having events there, is it going to be a bar or not
No,
open?
it won't be open. I like the fact of having a venue because for me, you only spend money when it's open, and I like it. I don't want any overhead, so no, it's not going to be used as a bar.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Any further
Chair.
questions?
Welcome back.
Thank you.
It's
Thank
been a long time that you've been planning this.
Yes,
And I
yes.
certainly support
Thank
what
you.
you have indicated, and I hope
Thank you very
much
much.
success
Thank
for you, because I know that this is your heart and soul,
It is, so thank you.
very definitely. So I move to approve.
Thank you.
Mr. Chair,
Yes.
I'll second it.
You second, yes.
Maria, I have a question for you.
Yes.
Have you put the investment in that hall already? Is it up and ready to go?
No, it's not ready to go because I just had the architect. Tomorrow, I believe, I'm going to be getting the permit.
Okay.
So everything has a process. But this is what I had to do first, because how can I use it as a venue if I can't serve alcohol?
Right.
It's not going to work.
Right.
So this
you
is
need that
my-
in order to invest the money that you
Correct.
plan to invest. Okay. All right.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
So we have an motion and a second. All in favor of the motion?
Aye.
Thank you.
Opposed? The aye have it. Thank you, Maria.
Thank you.
See
And just one more question. So when I do these outside little things, can I use it as that too?
Go ahead. Oh,
So I don't have to come back?
Existing permanent class B, there could be a request for specific events outside and extending this premises just for those events.
Very good.
That's how I would prefer to be handled as well.
Thank you, so I don't have to come back every time?
Okay.
But to come back to
You have to come back.
You do.
Okay.
you won't do the whole like issue license, surrender the license.
Okay, because I do have one coming on October 15th, but I was told, let's do that. So, yeah, there's a lot of things. So can I use it?
I would think that, Rebecca, you know.
Yes.
You need to have that approved prior to.
Okay, great.
So we'll see you
I'm-
again.
I'm-
Council meeting is the 18th.
Well, I'm told a lot of different things. Like, yeah.
Mr. Chair?
What do I do now?
Yes.
Are you referring to your Rapina Fest coming up?
Yes, just beer and
That's the
wine,
outdoor parking lot thing that
Yes.
she's talking about.
which I had in
Apply
July.
for an extension of use.
Who's that one?
She applied that for that before already.
Yes, I did in July.
Oh, okay.
For the one event though, right?
Correct.
You,
Should somebody want to call me tomorrow? All right. Thank you.
Thank
you
very
very
much.
much.
So now we move on to item 29, 2022-2024 renewal operator license bartender class D operator application from Michael Nichols, bartender 339. Michael? Yeah, I'll give you the courtesy tonight to be here, you know, I mean, I appreciate that.
Absolutely.
But based on your records, you know, I mean, it's not something really, I'm really pleased about it, you know, really.
Yeah, I understand that.
You know, and I think some of the members, maybe they feel the same way. So any questions from the committee members? Any questions?
Mr. Chair?
Yeah.
What, with your convictions, what have you had to do?
I was given 12 months probation. I have to do an assessment class just while my probation is going on, and that's a requirement for my probation to end. This is a case from 2019 that was extended through COVID that got pending, and it just opened back up. And that was the only thing that I could do to stay out and be able to, you know, work and be there for my children.
What about the 2 new convictions for disorderly conduct that we're showing here on our paperwork? So you're just saying there's one?
Yes, no, it was one charge that was just dropped down. If I took the plea deal for and pled guilty to what they were saying that happened, it would be dropped to disorderly conduct rather than the higher charge that it was already. So I pled guilty, and they dropped it down to disorderly conduct with the conditions that I comply with my probation, which I have been doing for the past 3 months.
Okay.
Mr. Chair?
Yeah, all the person appreciate.
Mr. Nichols, can you explain what that charge is? It says disorderly conduct DV.
DV, that's considered domestic violence. It's anything revolving with a domesticated situation, family members would.
Okay. And where, are you bartending currently?
Yes.
Where
Lemansky's
at? Lemansky.
on 89th and Greenfield.
Familiar, that's my district. And how long have you been bartending there?
About 1.5 years.
Okay.
I've been
And have
bartending-
you worked there without incident?
Yeah, I haven't had an incident in the entire time that I've been working there, or the past 4 years that I have been bartending. I have been incident-free.
Okay. And you said you have conditions on the 12 months? The charge that you had, you
Yes.
said 12 months?
Yeah, it's 12 months probation, meaning that I have to see my my probation officer once a month and do drug tests every time I see her, and just consistently be in contact with her.
Okay, are you allowed to drink at Lemansky's while you're bartending?
No.
Okay. And how long does that probation period go to?
I have been on it for 2 months, so I have 10 months remaining, and I was told by my probation officer that with the way that things have been going, I can get off in 4 months, which she'll cut the time in half, so I won't have to do the entire 12. It'll only be 6 because I've been complying and doing everything that I need to do.
Okay. Considering you've had the amount of contact that you've had with the law, especially I have concerns with the domestic violence and disorderly conduct, because you're responsible for other people
Yeah.
in that bar. You've been there 1.5 years with no incidents that I'm aware of. I'm just taking you for your word. But arguably, I'm looking at a pattern of history with your behaviors. What have you done differently? I mean, you have probation right now.
Yeah.
But quite honestly, probation keeps you in line. What are you working on besides that?
I've done multiple classes for like anger management, and it was called Family Services out in Waukesha. I did that as well, and that was a paid class that I took on my own, that I paid for out of pocket. It wasn't required or anything like that. I took it for myself, and I haven't had any incidents since.
Okay.
Like I said, that one was from 2019. It was just there when COVID hit is when my court case was pending, and they reopened it after, and yeah, so it took until now. It was like I said, I was charged with it in 2019, and it took until 3 months ago to finally.
So
get
was
the case.
that delayed
Yeah,
until you were able
yeah,
to?
so-
But in the process,
yes.
you've been working
so
on yourself?
from 2019 to 2022, I have had no incidences whatsoever.
Okay.
So you work
Thank you
as,
for
It just
answering
took
my...
it just took 3 to 4 years
Yeah,
to get
thank
it
you,
all.
Mr. Nichols, for answering
so
my
you're
questions.
working under supervision right now, right? behind the bar. You got somebody that holds a license for you right now, right?
He's a renewal.
Yeah, mine is a renewal. I've had mine. I had mine since I turned 21. So I've had mine for 4 years, and in the past 3 years, I haven't had anything.
Yeah, based on your conviction, to have a license in West Dallas, to me, it's a privilege, not rights, and it's not your
Correct.
rights.
Correct.
So that's why I strongly feel. I mean, at this time, somebody wants to make an emotion of denial
Chair.
or make a motion of denial. Go ahead.
This is for Kale. This would qualify for habitual criminality, correct? Or is it up to us to?
There isn't a hard definition for
Okay.
habitual law offenders, so the committee determine that. And because this is a renewal, there's not a typical denial for a new license. It'd be, there'd have to be a hearing offered to the applicant to have the license.
Okay.
Not renewed.
Mr. Chair?
Mr. Chair.
Yes.
Oh,
Oh,
you go ahead. I
Go
already
ahead.
spoke.
Go ahead.
That's right.
ahead, Rosa.
Basically, I have concerns. It appears, according to your record, that you have a consistent pattern of domestic abuse,
Could I?
disorderly conduct, especially disorderly conduct, battery. I mean, there's a lot of things that
If I could.
aren't conducive to the what you've chosen to do.
Correct.
What has changed since then? There must have been happenings.
Well, if I could explain something, as far as the habitual charges go, something of the charges that I believe you are speaking of, I was never convicted of the first initial charge. I was expunged of charges. I hired a lawyer, and she proved that what was said did not actually happen, and it didn't go down that way. I didn't serve any jail time.
What charge was this?
This was the original disorderly conduct that you guys,
Okay.
not the one that I am dealing with probation for right now, but the one prior to this, which would make it considered habitual. I was never charged with it. I was not found guilty of it. I did not have probation. I did not have to serve jail time. My lawyer proved that I was expunged of all charges. I was completely expunged, and I believe it's going to be. It was supposed to be taking off within a certain amount of time, but yeah, I was never convicted of it. I was never found guilty, and the two disorderly conducts and the battery, those were all tied in. It was I was charged with battery with a domestic violence enhancer. That's what it's called. And when I pled guilty to it, now it's just got bumped down to disorderly conduct and then a disorderly conduct with a domestic violence enhancer. Once I pled guilty, so it's not separate occasions where it's happened. It was one situation that it was two different charges, and then once I pled guilty, they dropped them down to disorderly conducts rather than batteries.
My next question is to Cale.
And like I said, that was from
He's second.
2019. I haven't
He
had any
wasn't
police
charged,
contact.
so why is it still on his record then?
I'm looking at it right now.
Okay. Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Chair?
Yes, over question.
Mr. Nichols, looking at the record, I don't feel that those charges are actually substantially related to the activity of bartending. So with that being said, I'll make a motion to approve.
I appreciate that. Thank you.
I'll second it.
All in favor of the motion of approval?
Aye.
Opposed?
No.
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 So it's back to discussion.
Yeah, okay, let's go back to discussions.
So how many noes were there?
Three.
Two.
Three.
Oh, three, okay.
Three.
You and I approved it.
Okay. All right.
Are you looking at the record, please?
So what I can see is there were two charges from a filing date 2020. Says the offense date was April 9th of 2020. So, do you recall that particular one, February 9th of 2020 incident?
Perhaps that was the one that I was talking about. Instead of it being 2019, it was 2020 instead. Yeah, because that's the only charge that I've ever been charged with. So it has to be that one. I just misconstrued the dates from 2019 to 2020.
I think that one, there was a guilty plea for disorderly conduct with a domestic abuse assessment.
Yep, that's,
There was a battery charge that was dismissed.
yep, that's this one that I'm doing probation for right now. I pled guilty to have it dismissed from battery to disorderly conduct.
Under that one, there was a 90-day sentence that was imposed in state, which means that if there's a violation of probation, it'd be up to 90 days in jail.
Yes.
Huber privileges, which means that you'd be allowed to be used for work if there's a violation of probation.
Yes.
Probation is for 12 months, and it started on 6/22
Yep.
this year, so it'd be until 6/22 next year, so on the
Yep.
last. There were several other conditions, including 24 hours of community service, DA sample, maintain employment, no contact with a particular person, like with the victim, it's usually what happens. Court would allow for expungement on successful completion of probation or discharge.
Yes. That's the
Mr.
only charge that I've had.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
I'm going to reiterate that part of our role here is to see, A, have you followed measures to rehabilitate? I think being on probation, meeting the requirements that you are, you can't change the fact that you have 10 months to go on a 12-month sentence of probation. I think with supervision, you're showing that rehabilitation. You've taken initiative to take classes on your own. And this does not substantially relate to the licensing activity, because asking you the question, have you had any incident while bartending at Lemansky's, your answer was?
No.
Okay. And you have been working there for a year and a half
Yes.
with no incident?
Yes.
Okay. So that's my discussion point, just to kind of drive that home to the committee, that these are the things we're looking for when we have an applicant come before us. A, did he rehabilitate? And B, does it substantially relate to the licensing activity? I think he's met both requirements.
Thank you, Alderperson Christian.
Mr.
Go ahead.
Chair.
Gail, the stuff that we've got listed in our notes here, how much of this stuff is actually been charged with?
So there is a different charge from an incident from 2018. I believe that's what the applicant was talking about.
Yes.
That one resulted in a guilty plea on a disorderly conduct, domestic abuse. That one appears to have occurred, that no contest plea happened on April 1st of 2021. And then there was a expunsion is conditionally granted on verification of completion sentence, payment of all costs, no law violations, while on that 6-month sentence. I can't tell if it was a 6-month probation sentence for that.
No, it was the 6-month class that I took, the rehabilitation class that I had to complete in order for it to get expunged, which I did, and it was expunged.
And that was the one that you were saying was the proof that the lawyer proved that you didn't do?
Yeah, the lawyer it was a no contest, and then if I did this, and this, which was the 6-month class, I had no contact with the law, and I paid all the fees and paid everything off that I needed to, then the judge would grant me expungement, which I did everything that I needed to do, and the judge granted me expungement.
Okay. I'm with Alderwoman Grisham. In my opinion, he's done what he's needed to rehabilitate and is still working on that, and I don't see why he shouldn't be able to continue working.
Alderperson Rankin.
Could you please tell me, is this a full-time job?
Yes, it is. I work 5 days a week, 7 p.m. to close.
I see.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Mr. Chair, I have one final
Yeah.
question, and this is for Attorney Decker. If we do not come to a decision right now, collectively, where do we go with this?
So the only way this would, because the existing licensee, there has to be an affirmative decision to not renew at some point in time. So if you can't agree on anything, someone would have to look for a non-renewal action. Otherwise, he'll be able to operate under his current license until that happens, because he's got a due process right for that property interest. So no decision tonight means the license carries on indefinitely. There has to be an affirmative vote to not renew.
And renew goes till what date?
In theory, it's supposed to have expired I'm not sure what the timings on this
June
license.
30th, it was expired, right, of 2022?
Yes, yes,
Expired year
yes, I believe it was June 30th of 2022, and then this was my renewal.
So, in theory, it could go on forever if there's never a majority vote to non-renew. So even if there's not a vote to renew, he kind of stays in this limbo mode. He can legally operate under that license because you can't, by negative action, effectively revoke the license. You have to affirmatively revoke the license.
Whereas if we renew and there is incident or there is a problem with that licensee, we can bring them in if need be, correct?
Correct. So, for example, even if you approve the licensee right now, let's say hypothetically something does not go well while on probation and an incident does occur, at that point in time, you could revoke the license.
Okay.
Okay, Attorney Kale, I have a question. So the motion was already on the table and was 3-2. So the only thing now we have goes to the floor in the council.
Not necessarily. The whole point of the deliberative process here is that the committee can engage in discussion with each other, and if someone wants to change their mind to come to a majority vote, or maybe add a condition or something along those lines, that could result in approval or denial, wherever the committee wants to go. So just because it failed one time doesn't mean you can't make the exact same motion again after further discussion.
See, the fact that it is that, here, again, to me, I said early, to have a bartender license in West Dallas, it's a privilege. It's not a right. So the fact that is, here, even the issues not related to the license, but the fact that here stands that this man, he has a pattern in his life in 5-6 years, and I understand it for the last year and a half. I mean, he's been working, he behaves, but the fact stands that he has a record has been going and going on and on. So finally, I mean, he grew up, maybe he got a little wiser. That's why I didn't really knew that he had the license, that he was working behind the bar in West Dallas, which was already been approved before. I mean, and this record here stands from time before he got his license. How can direct this issue here? He had a license already in place with all those charges that he had. Yes, go ahead.
The timeline, I think, is the issue, that these convictions didn't occur until after his 2-year license was approved back in 2020. And so the council and the committee would have never known about those convictions because they happened during his current license year. And you would not be able to consider something like this, I don't believe, as an arrest record. You need to be a conviction record. So that's why timing was the major issue, and that's why it's coming before you now. And as far as whether the charges relate, I do have to just advise the committee that it is very important for you to create a record that as to why you believe these convictions relate to this license activity, because just having a conviction is not a good enough reason to deny a person license. You have to link that conviction to the licensed activity for some matter. So if there's an interest in denying the applicant or non-renewing, make sure that you explain on the record why you believe the charges relate.
Mr. Chair?
Yes.
Chair, if,
Mr. Alderman Roll's been trying to say something for a
Oh,
long
go ahead.
time.
my apologies.
I forgot what I was going to say. No. My question to you, and you kind of answered, was if it goes to the council, can it end in a tie? I'm not good at math because we're one short tonight.
It can't go to
In theory,
council.
no, it shouldn't unless someone walks out of the room.
Okay.
And, Mr. Chair,
Yes.
the earlier convictions have been proven that he didn't do it. So the stuff that you're seeing from earlier on is not habitual because he got cleared of it from the court. So the only one that we're really focusing on is the one that was currently. The other stuff, and I'm understanding that right? It was expunged and he didn't get convicted of it because it was proven innocent.
Looking at the record, I encourage you to only consider the charge that was recently convicted. That's
Right.
the probation.
And that's why I'm trying to get away from the earlier ones.
Which, Mr. Chair, may I add, that was also
Go ahead.
delayed due to COVID, so this would have probably been rectified, and his probation period probably would have been taken care of before he even got here. So with that being said, as I said, there's 2 points. Has he proven he has rehabilitation? Yes, I believe he has. Is it directly related to the licensing activity? No, it is not. So I'm going to make a motion again to approve.
Second.
All in favor of the motion to approve?
Aye.
Oppose?
No.
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 Okay, so Gail, if I may, now he just gets to have his license indefinitely.
Well, so this item could be taken up by the council tonight, and a separate vote could occur
Okay.
to approve or deny.
Yes.
Okay.
In fact, at this point, given the fact that there's been enough discussion on this topic and 2 votes at the same number, I advise you to just advance this item to the council for a full vote.
Okay, I would like to advance that to the council floor.
Okay.
So you'll be hanging out.
Hanging out in the council floor. Thank you.
Right. Thank you, Mr. Nichols.
Sure.
Thank you.
Okay, now we move forward with item 2022-2024, new operator license pertaining to Class D operator application for Hallie Weeks, bartender 348. Is she here? I think this is the second time, right?
Yeah. Motion for denial.
Second.
All in favor of the motion of denial?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
That would be a motion due to non-appearance.
Yes.
Yes, second time. Okay. Now we move forward with item 31, 2022-2024, new operator license bartender Class D operator application for Stephanie L. Brooker, bartender 348.
Mr. Chair,
She's here?
we received a communication from her that she was not able to attend tonight. She did submit some letters, late on the time that she came in, but letters from folks who she
What time?
expresses this is expressing that this is for evidence of rehabilitation. So,
Is this her second non-appearance? Okay.
so the idea would be if the council wishes to consider this information and move forward, or if the council wishes to adjourn the matter, or however you'd like to proceed.
I make a motion to deny.
Second.
All in favor of denial?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? The ayes have it.
That was 31, correct?
Yes,
Thank you.
Due to non-appearance.
Non-appearance and record.
non-appearance, yes.
Thank you.
Then we have a 32, 2022-2024 new operator license, bartender Class D operator application for Jessica Yankin, bartender 356. She's here?
Nope.
No Jessica, eh?
First,
This is first time?
I'll make a motion to hold.
Yeah, we
Second.
can hold it, sure. All in favor of the motion to hold it?
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it.
Motion to adjourn?
The meeting is been adjourned. A second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, the ayes have it. Good job.
Material as far as their background,
Correct.
so.
Motion to
Entertain a
approve.
motion.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Number 34, the appointment of Michael Suter to the Community Development Authority.
Motion to approve.
Second.
It's been moved and seconded. Discussion. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed?
Motion to
Carried.
adjourn.
Second.
Oh.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you, Madam Chair.
Boy, all the person rank is so effective. Not like me, I'm